Hello, beautiful. Hello, hello, hello. I hope that you're having an amazing Wednesday. What I would love is whether you're watching me live or whether you're watching the replay, I'd love for you to say hi to me. If you could just say hi in the comments, let me know that you're here. Wanted to come to you today and talk to you about trust. But before I jump into that, I got a couple of announcements that I want to share with you. If you haven't noticed at this point, enrollment is open for my course, Break Through Your Limits. It is a 7-week course. It's all about helping you build confidence, helping you build clarity, helping you build courage internally from the perspective of cultivating a really strong and unstoppable mindset. So enrollment for that is open. I'll put the links in the comments for you. And then I have a free masterclass that I've created for you called the Quantum Mind. That will be taking place next week on Tuesday and Friday. So there's 2 times available for you. There will not be a replay. That's why I'm doing it twice, to give everyone the opportunity to show up. So I will put the links for that in the comments as well. So you can check both of those opportunities out and see if any of them feel right for you. Okay, so let's talk about trusting yourself. I wanted to talk about this because honestly, this has been a really, it's been a journey for me, right? It has truly been a journey for me to get to a place to where I really and truly trust myself. I trust my own inner wisdom. I'm able to tap into my own wisdom and kind of know, like, yes, this is what's right for me. And we know that growth is not linear. So this has been kind of like a path, a journey. But I want to talk about this because self-trust is, I believe, one of the most fundamental skills that we can cultivate for ourselves as women, as professional women, as business women. And I also think it's important as well when we start talking about human design, when we start talking about understanding what your energetic design is and beginning the process of deconditioning, of letting go who you think you needed to be and really embracing fully who you were designed to be. It takes a level of you really trusting yourself to be able to, shift out of the ways that you've been showing up because you thought you had to really shift into a way that's right for you, that's correct for you, that feels good for you. And so what I have found is that when we don't trust ourselves, what happens? Right? When we don't trust ourselves, it's a big energy leak because we're second guessing, right? You're second guessing yourself. You're doubting, that you really know what you know. You are not listening to your instincts, not listening to what is really true and right for you. Maybe you're holding on to like old memories of like stories of failures in the past or mistakes that you've made in the past. Maybe you're holding on to those. And it's creating like this negative feedback loop that it's keeping you kind of in this same place. And you're wondering why can I not get to that next level? What is it that's in my way? Or the last thing too, when we bring human design in this, is that you learn what your type is. It resonates with you. You're like, yes, oh my gosh, I'm a projector and I have been feeling this way for so long. And it excites you, you feel resonance with it, but then it feels hard. You feel this resistance that comes up when you think about really truly aligning to the way that's actually correct for you, right? So it creates this level of resistance. It creates frustration. You fall into your not self theme of bitterness or frustration or disappointment, and you can begin to spiral, right? So this is why self-trust is important. And I think even from a business perspective, it's even more so important. And here's like a little bit of my story. When I began to truly trust myself and trust that I knew what was right for me, it allowed me to become really particular and deliberate with the help and support that I allowed myself to receive to help me to grow, to help my business grow, and to help me grow personally. I began to know which coaches were the right coach for me, right? I let, there's this like fear of missing out that can come up, and we can begin to invest in all these things because like, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I need to do that. I need to do this. When you begin to really trust yourself, you know clearly what you need, what's going to support you, and you're able to laser focus in on those things. So you're not wasting all this energy, like trying to bump around into all these different places and not truly getting the results that you want or the fulfillment that you desire, right? So when you trust yourself, when you can step into trusting yourself, it really does build your confidence, right? It boosts your confidence. Making decisions becomes so much easier, right? Like I remember a time where like it would take me, I would vacillate back and forth so much about a decision and wear myself out mentally and emotionally because I was so afraid of like making the wrong decision. And what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if it's not right? What will my husband think? What will my family think? Like all this energy that we drum up that is not supportive energy when we don't trust ourselves. When you do trust yourself, when you step into that, you make a decision, you keep moving, right? The trajectory, your path, your journey, the results that you desire, the fulfillment you desired, all begins to start to really compound and create this momentum to move you forward. When you trust yourself, you can also trust your authority. And I'm talking about your authority in human design, right? So I want you, if you don't know what your type is, if you go to Google and just type in free human design chart, you can go there and you can pull up what your human design type is. But if you know your type, I want you to pay attention to your authority. What is your authority? Because our authority in human design is the tool that we use to help us make correct and aligned decisions based on what's correct for you. So I'm a splenic authority. I'm a splenic projector. And so for me, it's all instinctual. It's in the moment. Like I know instinctively in the moment what is right for me. If you're a sacral authority, it's that same thing. You've got that gut response, that full body yes that says, yes, this is what's right for me. If you're an emotional authority, right? You are spending time, riding your emotional wave and tapping into that emotional clarity once it shows up for you. But can you imagine when you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust your authority. You're not going to trust that your instincts will actually lead you in the right direction. So when we talk about, trusting self, this is why developing this skill is so important, right? Life flows and feels easier. Business feels easier. Your confidence is like through the roof and you're able to finally like accomplish and tackle the things and create the results that you dream about, right? That you lay awake at night dreaming about, right? So I want to share with you today, like how to do that. What are some practical things that you can do to begin trusting yourself? Now, this is some of the work that we do inside of the Break Through Your Limits journey, is this work around cultivating this self-trust. So first, what I want you to know is in any relationship, the number one building block is trust, right? For those of you ladies here that have spouses, you're married, or maybe you have like really good friends, I'm pretty sure like the foundational aspect of that relationship is trust. Because if you don't feel like that you can trust your friend or that you can trust your spouse, everything else just tends to fall apart, right? Like everything, like nothing else matters, right? So it's the same thing with trusting yourself. Trusting yourself is the building block that actually helps you create a more fulfilling life, a more fulfilling business, and it aids you in fulfilling your dreams. Right? It's the most important piece to your relationship to yourself. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Ask yourself the question, like become consciously aware of the fact that you don't trust yourself. Can you be honest with yourself and say, yeah, there may be areas in your life where you trust yourself fully, but there's probably some areas in your life where you don't really trust yourself, right? For me, I've had to work on trusting myself around money. Right? I've had to work on trusting myself around business. So first, we've got to get really honest with ourselves and say, okay, yeah, there are some places where I could definitely trust myself a little bit more. Right? So what are those places for you? Can you get honest with yourself and say, yeah, I don't trust myself, right? And I want to invite you to do this with compassion, to do this with understanding, and knowing that nothing's wrong with you, right? Like nothing is wrong with you if you're one of those that are just like, yeah, I don't really trust myself. So this isn't about blaming yourself or judging yourself or any of that. It's just acknowledging that, okay, yeah, I can work on this skill of trusting myself. And then next, what I would invite you to do is to tell the truth to yourself around why you don't trust yourself. Why don't you trust yourself? Right? Like sit down and really think about, okay, what stories, what experiences, what decisions have you made that are holding you back from really trusting yourself, because there's a layer of fear there that says, well, this is what happened in the past, so I'm afraid I might repeat that again, right? So for me, it was really hard for me to truly believe at one point that my voice mattered, that my desires mattered, right? And so because I didn't really trust my own voice, I didn't know my own voice, because I didn't think that what I wanted mattered, right? I criticized myself. I looked back on all the times that I didn't stand up for myself. I looked back on all the times that I didn't, use my voice, that I didn't do the thing that I said that I wanted to do, and I would judge myself and I would criticize myself. So where do you find yourself doing that? Where do you find yourself criticizing yourself for the things that have happened in the past? And what is that story, right? So get clear on the story that you're telling yourself, so that you can then understand the story that's operating in the background when you're presented with a new experience or a new opportunity that requires you to trust yourself. Okay? And then it's all about forgiveness, right? Forgiveness. Can you forgive yourself, right? What have you not forgiven yourself for? So think back on those experiences, on those stories, on those mistakes, right? And I'm putting mistakes in quotes because honestly, like, I don't believe there are mistakes. You learn and you grow. You've got to make some mistakes in order to grow to your next level, right? So, but what are those things that you haven't forgiven yourself for in the past, right? So I can look back on my life and say, okay, I forgive myself for not speaking up when X, Y, and Z happened to me. I can forgive myself for not following through on the passion, on the idea that I had, several years ago. I can forgive myself for that, because that version of me back then didn't know what the version of me now knows, and it's okay. So when you can begin to forgive yourself, it's like it releases this pressure. It releases all these expectations, and then you can begin the work of saying, okay, now how am I going to work on cultivating this trust within myself? So a couple of things that I'll share with you that I share inside of Break Through Your Limits is, number one, here's something practical that you can do to begin cultivating your self-trust. Number one is to sit in your own energy and listen. Like, when is the last time that you really sat in your energy and just listened? No judgment, relaxing the mind, and just listened and just sat in, okay, what does my energy feel like right now? And really tuning into the energy that's coursing through your body. Is it anxious energy? Is there fearful energy? Is there this reactive energy that's moving through you? Is there exciting energy moving through you? Is there calm energy? Like really sitting and tuning into your energy body. What does that feel like, right? And then begin to listen to your own wisdom. And so some of the ways that I like to do this is through meditation, right? If you know me long enough, you know that meditation is my jam. I love it. Sitting in meditation, whether it's guided meditation or just sitting quietly and just, listening to your breath. It could be through, documenting your conscious thoughts. So journaling is a big tool that you can use to help you to become aware of your own thoughts and your own ideas, right? Prayer is a great way to do that. And then just throughout your day, paying attention to the hits that you receive, paying attention to the guidance that you receive that maybe you wouldn't trust yourself enough to take, but just listen to what comes up. Listen to the ideas you receive. Listen to the wisdom that comes through. And the more you do this, the more you practice this, it'll happen more and more and more and more, right? And as you keep building this trust with yourself, you will begin to take the action on the things that are coming through, which leads me to point number 2 that I want to share with you around cultivating self-trust, and that is taking risks, right? Be willing to take risks. Be willing to go for the idea that comes through you. Be willing to go for the big dream that you have and taking those first steps, because most of the time we don't take risks. Most of the time, a lot of people aren't taking risks because your mind is set to this mindset of, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't succeed? Right? And then that's all kind of balled up in this energy of shame, right? But on the flip side, when you take the risk, you're actually building your capacity for self-trust. Like, self-trust is a muscle. If you want to build muscles in your body, what do? You go to the gym and you work out that muscle and you do it consistently, right? Until you begin to see that muscle, until you begin to see and feel that your body's getting stronger. Cultivating self-trust is the same thing, right? So the more that you're willing to get comfortable with taking some risks and then seeing that, okay, I'm good, I'm okay, or, oh, this was a great thing, this was a great idea, I'm so glad I did this. Or maybe it didn't work out the way you thought it was going to work out, and you can still see that it's okay and that you can keep moving forward. You're building your self-trust muscle, right? And as you're doing this, not only are you building self-trust, but you are building your courage and you're building your confidence muscle as well. And ladies, these are muscles that if you don't use them, if you don't work them out, they're not going to work for you. Right? So how can you begin to take the risks, even the little small risks, right? Getting on here and doing a Facebook Live in the very beginning was like a risk because, oh my gosh, what judgment am I going to receive? What are people going to think? Am I going to make a complete fool out of myself, right? All of these things come up which feel like a risk, but the more that I did the thing, the more confident I became, the more courageous I became. And it's the same with you. So I hope that this talk on self-trust really serves you and that you'll take away some of the points that I shared with you here on this video and that you'll begin to actually use them and infuse them into your life, right? Because it can really support you in the growth that you desire, in fulfilling the purpose that you're here to fulfill. It will support you in, making better, stronger, more confident decisions for yourself, right? It will grow your business, right? All these things. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any thoughts that came up, leave them in the comments. I'd love to read them. And then again, check out Break Through Your Limits if you're ready to actually start doing this work, to begin building your self-trust, to begin building your courage and your confidence and creating clarity so that you can release the resistance to get where it is that you want to go. I'll leave the link for that again here for you in the comments. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can see the link in my bio. And I'll also leave the links for the Quantum Mind Masterclass, which is happening next week. I'm super excited. 17 of you have already registered for the Masterclass, so I can't wait to be in that energy with you. So I'll leave the links for that in the comments and also in my bio. You can find it there as well. So I'm sending you so much love, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.